Welcome back to Giant Freakin' Robot. For a sci-fi show that's been off the air for almost 2 decades now, Farscape has had an outsized influence on both genre television and the Marvel Universe. If you immediately think of how Guardians of the Galaxy's cast of misfits with a human captain is just a little similar to Crichton and his crew, then, well, you'd be completely correct. If you didn't immediately think of that, it's probably only because you haven't seen Farscape. James Gunn, the man behind the Guardians movies and now in charge of the DC Universe, is a huge fan of the Australian sci-fi series.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Back when Guardians of the Galaxy was hitting theaters, fans asked Gunn if Farscape had any influence on his vision of the Marvel team, and to his credit, he replied this way: "People are always bringing up a million films asking me if they're inspirations. Usually the answer is no. In the case of Farscape, it is most definitely yes. The similarities are incredibly obvious, but if a longtime nerd like Gunn was to be influenced by anything, at least it was one of the best shows ever made." That opinion is again from James Gunn, who also has mentioned that Farscape is one of his favorite shows of all time, to the point that he geeked out meeting Ben Browder while representing Marvel at a convention. Browder played Farscape's John Crichton, both versions.
Say, you're that John Crichton guy, aren't you?
Crichton is a human who finds himself sucked through a wormhole and ends up living on the complete opposite side of the galaxy from Earth, amongst bizarre aliens.
My name, Jose Jimenez.
Star-Lord is very clearly John Crichton.
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Joining him in the show's colorful crew is Chiana, a talented fighter that's clearly the basis for Gamora. There's Kar Dargo, a loud and proud fighter that lost everything he ever held dear. He is very clearly the inspiration for James Gunn's take on Drax. Jewel, the smart orange alien that isn't very good in a fight, is so much like Mantis it's eerie. And the strangest connection of all is Farscape's Erin, a militant peacekeeper whose life wasn't her own for decades. Despite their physical differences, it's obvious Rocket Raccoon is a proxy for Erin. Even the structure and style of the show is identical to that of Guardians, right down to their shared, wacky sense of humor.
Okay, I'm with you. I just have one small little question. Who is Lou Costello?
Just like Star-Lord's crew of villains and thieves, most of the characters Farscape's John Crichton teams up with are criminals. The two franchises even have similar ideas about romance. Farscape's human character falls in love with an angry, attractive alien woman who can't stand him at first. John and Erin's romance is one of the centerpieces of Farscape's story. And it's mirrored, almost exactly, by the relationship between Star-Lord and Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy. None of the characters get along or even like each other.
Name's John. John.
But they eventually become a close-knit family in spite of their differences. And that's just scratching the surface.
My side, your side, my side, your side, my side, your side!
Going a few degrees away from Farscape, Guardians of the Galaxy proved to be one of Marvel's biggest hits and influenced other films in the franchise by proving the mix of humor, old-school rock and roll, and genuine emotion could work. Thor Ragnarok pulled it off.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
But DC's Suicide Squad definitely did not, until the sequel, when Gunn came in again to show them how to do it the right way.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had to go number 2.
Good to know.
What would modern superhero movies look like if, instead, Gunn was a major fan of, say, the super weird sexed-up sci-fi series Lex?
Oh, come on, man. They're here.
Or, even worse, Lost.
What is this thing? We didn't even know what it does!
Bringing things full circle, James Gunn wrote a part in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, specifically for Farscape's star Ben Browder, but you might not recognize him right away.
John Crichton, Wizard of Oz.
Browder played the Sovereign Admiral, the gold-colored second in command underneath Aisha, tasked with capturing the Guardians after they stole from the Sovereign. According to Gunn, the part was written specifically for Browder, a grand gesture that brought the Farscape lead into the Marvel Universe. Now that Gunn is in charge of DC, there's no telling how far the influence of Farscape is going to spread beyond the confines of Marvel.
Is there anything you do well?
Watch football.
We'll have to pay attention to how the Green Lantern Corps looks under his guidance. Or maybe the Sovereign Seven will get pulled out of mothballs and retooled to resemble the crew of Farscape's living ship. No matter what happens, back when Rock Mies Bannon first partnered with the Jim Henson Company for his Australia-based series, no one could have imagined, decades later, the impact Farscape would have on the biggest blockbusters in history. Until next time, keep Winona at the Frelling ready and don't forget to subscribe. This has been Giant Freakin' Robot.
I love you.
William,
Love you. I love you. Oh, God, there were girls, right?